Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. We're talking today to James Wright. He's the CEO for the Classroom of the Future Foundation. James, thank you for all the information you shared in the first segment, and just had some follow-up questions while we're doing this second segment, especially about the innovative approaches that some school districts are taking, groups that you're working with, school districts you're working with, to expose their young people to the kinds of career opportunities that you specialize in.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to be here, Jose. And one of the school districts that we have worked a lot with over the years and recently have been doing a lot with is Cajon Valley Union School District. This is a K-8 public school district in East San Diego County. Their superintendent, Dr. David Miyashiro, serves on our board of directors. Many of your listeners probably know Ed Hidalgo, from formerly with the Think a Bit Lab at Qualcomm, is their chief innovation officer, and they've been very successful over this past year with implementing a World of Work initiative where they're exposing students starting in kindergarten to the world of work.
Oh, man.
And, I had an opportunity a few months back to visit one of their fantastic schools, Rios Elementary School, and I got to see this program in action, Jose, and all of the students take what's called a RIASEC survey to learn about their personal strengths, interests, and values, and then the teachers help the students connect those personal strengths, interests, and values to different careers. And starting in kindergarten, they're learning about 4 careers every year, in addition to the normal coursework that every kindergartner or first grader goes through, right? But all of that is connected to those 4 jobs. And so I went to Rios a few months back, and I saw this in action in a kindergarten classroom, and I met this little girl there, and I asked her, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she told me, I want to be a doctor. I said, wow, man, that's great. And I said, why do you want to be a doctor? And she says, because I'm investigative. I said, I took a step back a little bit. What investigative? How do you know that? And she said, well, I took my RISEC survey, and I know I'm investigative, and I know doctors are investigative, so I think I'm going to be a doctor.
Oh, my goodness. And I think back, how old was I when I took the Myers-Briggs to find out what my aptitude was, and I was actually had to be like in my late teens. That's great discovery, and just creating that awareness with young people about what their talents and their nature is, their aptitude. So, wow.
We've been so impressed by the work that the district has done over the last school year. Our board of directors and organization, agrees that exposure to the world of work should happen as early as possible. We have about 160,000 high school students in our county. The best estimates that I've seen, about maybe 20,000 of them have had some sort of world of work experience, right? And that can be anything from a guest speaker in the classroom to an internship. Mm-hmm. That's a huge gap, Jose, of high school students that are leaving. So we do have some incredible career pathway programs for high school students, like at Del Lago, like Health Science High, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Very little, actually, in middle school or elementary school, and we really should be starting as early as possible. And so over the last year, we've done some work to develop curriculums for middle school students to expose them to industry sectors like our local cybersecurity industry. We will be doing a lot more with Cajon Valley and other districts in the coming school year, because we want to see that model, the Cajon Valley way, scaled up and brought to other districts and adapted to what those districts are doing.
So you're helping to be in essence, a promoter of that particular model. The district may do something, but you say, hey, let's take this and let's promote it. Let's see if other districts will do this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We really see one of our roles in the space as a communicator, telling the success stories, right? The stories that maybe aren't making the news every night, that these districts are doing some pretty fantastic work, and it's incumbent upon organizations like us to pull out the megaphone and shout it to the community.
Very good. Somebody needs to do it. There's got to be that convening, that coming together, that clearinghouse, et cetera. Here's what we're finding and then getting it back out there. And along that line, let's talk a bit about your third annual Career Pathway Summit taking place on September 18th.
Yeah, so it's right around the corner. We'll be putting information on our website and sending invitations out in the next couple of weeks. The past 2 years, this summit has been held at National University Spectrum Center. Shout out to Dr. Nancy Rowland Heinrich and Dr. David Andrews and the whole NU team. They've been a huge supporter of our foundation since the very, very beginning. We still haven't finalized the location yet, so stay tuned on that. We're expecting larger attendance. We've been fortunate that the past 2 years the summit has grown and grown and grown, and so we're at a place now where we're kind of looking at space and seeing where we can hold this larger event. But we're expecting anywhere from 200 to 300 people at the summit. There'll be a mix of educators, business leaders, and community leaders from local nonprofits and government entities around the community.
Very exciting. I look forward to being there. And you'll be talking about some of the things we talked about on this show.
Absolutely. Okay. So there'll be a keynote presentation and numerous breakout sessions during the day on topics focused on what we've been talking about, right? How do we scale up programs like the one in Cajon Valley? How do we create more Del Lago academies? How do we connect students with those essential skills so they are better prepared for the workforce? So those are the kind of conversations we'll be having. And I think what's a lot of fun, and hopefully you can attest to this, Jose, is the networking that happens at these events. I think is really what it's all about. I mean, the awareness, the education is great, but when you get an educator in the room with a business leader and they're meeting for the first time and a relationship develops that benefits our kids, that's really why we do these events.
We need more of these, and I do remember last year it was a packed house. And just the general session and let's talk a little bit more about that. We have about 2 minutes. Your best spokespeople are going to be your students. We talked about the kindergartners, and I know you had the older kids last year. Are you going to have a panel like that again this year?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I think the kids say it the best, right? I mean, they're the ones that are going through the experience. They're the ones whose lives are being affected. So we will definitely be featuring a fantastic group of students from different parts of the county. We will once again be featuring some of our prominent business leaders who are involved in offering work-based learning opportunities to students. And, of course, we will be featuring educators that are extraordinary in this regard. Very good, very good.
Well, I'm just so glad to have additional information that we can be sharing, and then introduction to you, James, to the public, actually, about the work that you're doing. I think more people need to know about Classrooms of the Future Foundation. James Wright, and I'm just looking at some of the information I received. Selected for one of the first things I noticed, this is a young guy here. He was given a 40 under 40 award. This was San Diego's Brightest Young Leaders. Emerging stars. We need that leadership in the community, the spokespeople, the advocates for our young people, so that we're doing. This is a literacy show, and so part of it is creating that vision, making learning relevant. We have to walk the walk, talk the walk that we talk, whatever the case might be. But certainly, when we say set goals and have a vision, we have to provide those at an early age, and you're doing that through your program.
Well, thank you, Jose, for giving me the opportunity to shine a light on some of the work that we're doing. We couldn't be more proud of our partnership with you and the Literacy Council. So thank you for your partnership.
Well, we're all having a good time doing really good work, and like I said, there's different parts where the interventions are happening. And you're coming in with a real prize, just given the services and the partnerships you're creating, and just hosting the summit and convening us as a community. Welcome, and thank you again for joining us, James. I'm Jose Cruz. This is Literacy for All Radio. We're signing out. We're from WS Radio, and this is the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
In the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011, 800-628-6011, NavyMutual.org, insuring those who serve.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days?
What's that mean? Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.